What's up, everyone? I'm Kate King. I'm a licensed therapist and the host of this channel and of the Healers interview series. Thanks for coming back for another interview. Today, I'm interviewing holistic nutrition therapist Amy Gray. She'll be talking to us today about not only the value of the things we put in our body in the form of food and drinks and supplements, but also the healthy balance from a functional medicine perspective of the whole being and how your whole being self is incorporated in your highest level of healing, which includes your sleep, your food and drink and supplement intake, as well as your lifestyle and your social connections. So I think you're really going to appreciate the perspective that Amy has on the small steps that it takes to get started with a really healthy, holistic lifestyle and some of the other offerings she has in her business, including the infrared sauna, which she will talk about a little bit in more detail. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel so you can get not only the exciting interviews, but also some of the teachings and goodies I have on here to help you live a big, exciting, awake, alive, and healthy life. All right, now I'll kick it off to my interview with holistic nutrition therapist Amy Gray. Hi, Amy. I'm so glad that you're here with me on the interview series. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Kate. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. I can't wait to hear about your nutrition therapy practice. Would you like to give our viewers just a little bit of a intro into how you got to where you are today?
Sure. My name is Amy Gray, and I have a wellness business here in Denver. It's actually over in Cherry Creek. I do nutrition therapy as well as infrared sauna studio, some red light, as well as foot detoxing, supplementation, everything that goes into supporting someone through nutrition therapy. It all started probably back when I had kiddos and became very aware of our food source and just everything that goes into keeping a healthy body and mind. So that's kind of how it started and evolved into adding these other healing modalities with it.
I love to hear that you have so many different tools in your tool belt. There's so many neat, holistic ways to make our bodies healthy. And I feel like the nutrition therapy piece is such a huge piece, but having kind of those other little elements of healing that you have, I'd love to maybe a little further down in the interview, maybe we can talk about some of those.
Absolutely, yes. It goes so well with the holistic view. So it's mind, body, soul, and all of those little things that can be added to it have really helped um, lots and lots of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that holistic mindset with healing is so important because just focusing on any one modality, whether it's just Eastern medicine or just Western medicine, it limits people where you don't have the best of all worlds. So that's what I love about holistic mind body medicine.
Yes, exactly. So holistic nutrition therapy is actually, getting to optimal health, but it's not just what we're putting in our bodies, right? And it's the whole person. So it is mind, body, and spirit all coming together. We can eat the most perfect diet, but if we're out of balance in these other areas, that won't really matter. So it is doing incorporating all of these things and supporting the whole person, like I said.
Yeah. So I have heard of so many different kinds of nutrition therapy. I've heard of holistic nutrition and functional nutrition, sports nutrition, medical nutrition. Can
Mhm.
you give us a little bit more information about the Amy Gray lens of nutrition therapy
Sure.
and what that looks like?
It's a natural approach to optimal wellness. So, holistic nutrition therapy views all of us individually. We are biochemically individual, obviously, and we all come to the table with different things in our lifestyle, our spiritual health, everything. So, it really takes all of that into account. It's not a one size fits all. It's really digging deep into all those aspects and coming up with an individual plan. So, holistic is closely related to functional medicine. It is getting to the root cause, and like I said, digging deeper, not just putting a blanket diet out there for everybody. So, Sometimes, a paleo diet and going to bed at 9 p.m. works really well for one person, but it's not necessarily the best thing for someone else. So you do hear that a lot. Everyone thinks we should all be on paleo, or keto is really big right now. Everyone should be on keto, and holistic nutrition it doesn't observe it that way. We really do it on an individual basis.
I really appreciate that because we are so different. And the therapist in me is always thinking about people's stories and how people's past traumas or environments or experiences can kind of affect and impact their whole health picture. It's sometimes hard these days to find other providers who look at kind of the whole picture and are trauma informed and sensitive to some of these stories. So I really do appreciate that about the way that you look at things. And I wonder too if you could speak a little bit to some mental health in terms of the work you do, because I know a lot of the viewers here are used to hearing mental health stuff from my channel. So can you kind of speak to the intersection between nutrition
Sure.
therapy and mental health?
Food affects our mood, our emotions, our mental outlook on everything. And I get a lot of people that come in trying to figure out the best way to feel better. So we always start with the same few things. We obviously look at what we're putting into the body, what the individual person is putting into their body, but we also look at lifestyle. We look at the stress, we look at sleep, we look at hydration, we look at relationships, community, all kinds of things to really get a good idea. And once we kind of map that out and take a look at that together, then we do four things. The first thing we try to do is incorporate mood enhancing foods. A whole food diet will always outperform somebody that's fueled with processed food or fast foods. Speaking to which, I just saw something yesterday that said on any given day, I think 36% of adults are eating fast food.
Wow.
So that's pretty intense because obviously that's not feeding our brain throughout the day. So the first thing we do is try to incorporate whole foods, mood enhancing foods. So non-starchy vegetables, low sugar fruits. I always encourage people to eat a snack or a meal that will incorporate fat, protein, and carbohydrates because we want to keep our blood sugar stable throughout the day instead of getting the spike, and then which will cause some anxiety or nervousness, and then you get the crash when you come down from that, and then it's just an up and down throughout the day. So stabilizing blood sugar is a really important part of mood enhancing. And then we also take a look at supplementation. That is a big part of holistic nutrition therapy supplements. So most of us, even if we're eating an organic, dialed in diet, it's hard to get all of the nutrients we need. Our soils are depleted. Our stomachs aren't absorbing as well because a lot of people are using antacids, which obviously interfere with the absorption of nutrients in the gut. So there are all kinds of things that hinder the absorption of nutrients. And those nutrients obviously are the building blocks for the neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters do need a nice cocktail of vitamins, minerals, amino acids in order to produce the neurotransmitters that we need to feel even, healed, and happy throughout the day. So we do a lot with supplements, and there are so many good supplements to use. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the multivitamin, which isn't a really sexy or extreme supplement, but it's amazing how much better people feel even by just adding a multivitamin into their protocol. And it's simple, it's easy. You're not taking 15 pills. It's just one or two a day. B vitamins are also really important for mental cognition and energy, specifically B6, B12, folate. Those are all needed to produce serotonin, and a lot of people are lacking in that area. And then I'm also a really big fan of fish oil. It's great for brain function. It also decreases inflammation. So, and I could go on. There are so many. And then another big part is moving your body. So A lot of people have this idea that you have to go exercise hard for an hour every day in the gym. And I'm not talking about that. I'm really just talking about moving the body. So yoga is really nice, even taking a 20-minute walk, just anything to get your body to calm down a little bit, lower the cortisol, and interrupt your thinking so you can be in a more relaxed state. And then also, eventually we start to tweak the things maybe in your life that aren't contributing to feeling as good as you want to be. Sleep is a really, really big problem for a lot of us. So, going to bed at a much earlier time is always encouraged. A lot of us enjoy a glass of wine every night, and that obviously isn't always great for sleep either. Really incorporating more self-care. So even hopping in the bathtub with some Epsom salts, just really small things that we can incorporate that make a huge difference, especially if you will do them consistently. So small steps without turning your life upside down right away is the best way usually.
Right. So, what would you say to a client who came in and maybe they had some lifestyle kind of tools that weren't working for them? Like maybe they had that nightly glass of wine or two, maybe they're eating processed foods, maybe they have some toxic people in their lives, and maybe they're not aware that those things aren't good for them because in the moment it's like, it's adaptive and it works. It seems to
Right.
work. So, how do you sort of slowly step people up in the awareness of how that isn't working and then step them down in the reduction of those?
So what I've noticed works best is it never works well to tell people they have to take all of these things out, in my experience. It's better to add things in. So, speaking to food, for example, obviously I give feedback on things that aren't the most healthy, but I don't try to take away everything at once. I just ask people to add some more vegetables, add some more fruit, maybe only have dessert a couple of times this week, those kind of things to make it just small steps. People can adapt to that much better. And the same thing with lifestyle changes as well. I mean, drinking wine is a great example because um, a lot of people do enjoy that, and it's a way to relax at the end of the day. Again, I just try to incorporate more healthy things and slowly step back from the things that aren't always working.
So, there's only so much space in your life. And so, maybe if you add in some healthy things, it will by default kind of like bump some of the unhealthy things.
Yes, we try to crowd out the bad or the less good things. And most of the time, if people are consistent, they'll start to feel a difference, even, but really quickly. And that's really what it takes, someone to start feeling the effects of just their small, even getting into bed 15 minutes earlier seems like not a big deal. And really that can make a giant difference for a lot of people.
Mhm.
So, yes, we just try to crowd out the bad and replace it with more good.
I appreciate that. I think that's a good method because you're not shaming people that way. You're just sort of offering things and providing enhancement. And it's like the visual I'm getting in my mind is you're providing like this buffet of all kinds of new and healthy ideas, and they kind of take what fits and maybe bump out something that doesn't fit so well.
Yes. And that's another thing. It's again, because we're all so individual, we don't all respond to the same things, right? So we do have to have lots of ideas that we can pick and choose that will make up the way we do things the best, for
Right?
sure. Yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So, how would you respond to, like, you spoke a bit about this in your intro, but the kind of diet culture that we are living under here in this country with there's like a specific idealized body shape. There's, the media tells us what's healthy, what's not healthy. How do you
Yes.
work with somebody who is like very familiar with that overculture of diet and kind of ease them into finding what's right for them?
Yeah, so that comes up a lot. A lot of people, s- you know, a lot with weight loss. Um, but just in general, people come, it is in the media, and the only way really to get through that is a lot of education. So um, in each visit, obviously, we go over what's happened. We usually put things in place in between meetings so that we can do that. But for someone that's first coming in, I'm just very honest with them that this is the way holistic nutrition works. It's not one size fits all. It really is about educating. It really is about giving just what we've been talking about, giving the tools, and also having people have a realistic idea of how this is going to go. Some people come in and think if they pay for some nutrition therapy that they're immediately going to feel better next week or look different or all of these things. So, I'm very honest with people that it's hard work. It's worth it. And as long as they stick with me and we do these small steps, usually people will feel much better and have a better view on all of this. But it definitely is hard with the way the media portrays everything. And again, going back to paleo, some people come in and they don't even know what paleo is, or if it would even work for them, but they're like, I know I need to be on paleo because everybody's on paleo. And it's just, yeah, it's more just educating people because it is fighting against the media that puts these views and ideas in everyone's head. And it makes sense because if you're not really deep into nutrition or lifestyle, then you wouldn't really understand that it is very individual.
Right. And I imagine there must be some psychological components too about like, you know, body image, looking in the mirror and wanting to like what you see. And if you don't like what you see in the mirror, it might not have anything to do with your shape and size. It might have something to do with the emotional baggage you're carrying or the old narratives that you haven't let go of. So, how do you work with people with that when you notice that there's like a need for some therapy or for like, maybe bringing in another provider to help with that?
Yes, oftentimes I do refer people out to a therapist that's outside of the realm of nutrition therapy because oftentimes that is something beyond the diet or whatever. It is more emotional, and I'm not equipped to do that. So I do refer people out actually quite a bit.
The therapist doesn't have the nutrition knowledge that you have. And so having that collaborative relationship can be really supportive for one of your clients.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So maybe this would be a good time for us to talk about your other offerings that you have too, with the infrared and the light therapy, and kind of how do you integrate the nutrition with these other tools? And can you kind of
Sure.
explain what they are?
Yes. So one of the tools that I utilize a lot is the infrared sauna. So most people have been in a traditional sauna in a gym or a spa, the ones that are really hot. And the reason they're so hot is it's heating the air around your body in order to induce a false fever so that your body begins to detox and relax and the blood vessels dilate and all those things. So infrared is different in that it's dry heat like that, but it's at a much lower temperature. It's still very warm. You still do sweat, but it's typically 125 to 150 degrees. And you sit for 30 to 45 minutes. So it's a longer session and it's much more therapeutic. So infrared is just the invisible rays of the sun. So you're getting all of the health benefits of the sunshine, but you're not getting the UV rays. So you're not going to get in there and get a suntan. The saunas that I utilize are full spectrum. So you're getting near, mid, and far infrared, and they all do different things in the body. When you get inside the sauna, it's a cabin. You're the only one in there. It's this nice warm little cocoon. I kind of feel like I'm shielded from the outside world for 45 minutes. It's a really nice time just to relax. You can play meditative music. You can have no music. There's also color light therapy, which is very soothing. So infrared has been shown to decrease cortisol. Obviously, it relaxes your body. It stimulates endorphins as well as serotonin. So you just feel so much better when you come out. Even after one session, you can really feel the difference. And not only that, indirectly, it helps with your mood because it helps with sleep, specifically deep sleep. which, as you know, that's when we're rejuvenating and regenerating and really getting into the most restful state.
Is there a detox element to this as well? And can you
Yes.
speak a little bit to detox? Because I think people have a concept of what this is, and there are really extreme ways to do detox with like coffee enemas and, all kinds of things. But can you speak to that just through your lens?
So, in the sauna, like I said, there's near, mid, and far infrared, and the far infrared penetrates the body at the deepest level. We carry most toxins in our adipose tissue, so it vibrates you. This heat light vibrates you on a cellular level where those fat cells open up and the toxins will flow into the lymph system for elimination. That is really important for mental health as well, because less toxins in our blood circulation means less toxins going to our brain, which affects obviously our mood, depression, anxiety, all of it. Infrared also will dilate our blood vessels, which will speed up circulation, obviously. So your brain is getting a nice dose of freshly oxygenated blood, which is a mood enhancer as well. It's a very gentle way to detoxify and improve your mood.
That sounds really lovely to me. Do you think
Yes.
that these other more extreme versions of detox are really maybe not such a good idea? The gentle way just seems so much more supportive of the system.
People will typically stick with detoxing if you can do it in a more gentle way. We can't detox for 3 days or 5 days or 2 weeks and expect it to be done and over and you move on. Detoxing needs to be a daily thing. And there are small things you can do every day. Drinking lemon water is a really great way to do that. Just making sure you get your vegetables, fibrous vegetables. That's a really great way to do it. Infrared sauna therapy is a great way to do it. Yoga, like there are all these things, again, just small little pieces that if we incorporate those, they definitely have a cumulative effect, and it's sustainable and it's enjoyable. I would much rather use infrared sauna and yoga and some of these other things instead of, like you said, coffee enemas or not eating, doing a food free fast and all of that. That doesn't typically work for most people.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
that you said that. And I know people will go on these long juice cleanses or, intermittent fasting seems to be really popular right now.
Yes.
But to me, it just seems like going 12 hours without food or 15 hours without food every day. Just to me, that doesn't feel balanced.
There is some value to intermittent fasting. When we give our body a break, it has time to clean house, and that's called autophagy. Intermittent fasting is a really big topic right now. I have a lot of people that use it. And again, going back to the individual piece, we come up with a different plan for a lot of people. 16 hours, there are a lot of people that can handle 16 hours. Like you said, sometimes that seems like it's a little too long. Sometimes it's just don't eat between dinner time around 7 until you get up. Like sometimes that's okay and that's enough. It will give your body a rest. I never encourage people to be eating up until bedtime for anybody. I think it's good, and we sleep better if we give our body a little bit of time to digest and clear our gut of heavy foods before we lie down to rest.
Yeah.
But absolutely not. Not everybody will benefit from a 16-hour fast.
It seems for me, for my body, I'm like, no, that seems like
Right. Yeah.
if someone were interested in kind of dabbling a little bit into holistic nutrition therapy, if they weren't ready yet to come to you for sessions, or if maybe they don't have the finances to hop into a commitment right now, what would you recommend in terms of just some tools or resources that people can look up at home to get started on this?
One of my favorites is Mark Hyman. He's a functional doc. He has a website, he has a podcast. I follow him on Instagram. Just really good tips. It's simple, straightforward, things that you can incorporate right away. I really like him. Frank Lipman is another one that I really like. He's a doctor in New York. He's an MD. He did a lot of training and work in rural areas, and so crossed over more into the integrative functional side of medicine. So he has lots of great information on sleep, on aging well, a wide variety of things. And I follow him on Instagram, and he has a great website as well. Mood Food Solution, and it's by someone named Jack Callum. It's a great book. Again, very straightforward, very practical tips of things to put in place right away. And then Trudy Scott does a lot around uh, nutrition and health and with mental health. And her book that I like is called The Anti-Anxiety Food Solution. Again, a really nice, direct, simple book to follow. I'm always looking for recipes, and I love this website. It's called eatingwell.com. And they have all kinds of different, so they have paleo stuff, they have keto stuff, they have vegetarian, they just have a wide range. And I know there are a lot of websites that do that, but this one, their recipes are dialed in. They're always really good. And again, simple, so you're not spending hours cooking, but really quality stuff. And I really enjoy that one.
That sounds great. I'm going to look that up. I've been trying
Yeah.
to integrate some more vegetarian meals into my life.
Uh-huh.
I recently found out that I have a sensitivity to chicken. I was like, what? Who's
Oh.
sensitive to chicken? So I am excited to check out that website and see what they have on the vegetarian spectrum.
Yes, yes, yes. And another thing I'll say, because this comes up a lot with clients, is the amount of time to put into cooking. So when we're trying to nudge out those unhealthy meals or fast food or whatever, that's a very common thing. People are like, I don't have time to do this. I'm a huge proponent. I'm a big fan of meal preps on Sundays. Again, it's not sexy or fun or exciting, but I love it when I know I have my stuff prepared, even just chopped up vegetables and, cooking some chicken and shredding it just to, even if I can save myself 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Again, it's those small steps that really add up to making a big difference.
Right.
And you'll stick with it more that way.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'll make something, I'll make like double of what I need, and then I'll put half of it in the freezer for a rainy day. So
Excellent.
I'm
Yes.
with you. Meal prep, especially for busy families and working professionals, it can, it could be at the top of the list, even if
Yes.
it's sexy.
Well, and then when you come into the house, if you're starving and you have hard boiled eggs or chopped up vegetables or something, it's much easier to grab that than to maybe put your hand in a bag of tortilla chips or something.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for our last question today, Amy, is there anything exciting going on at your practice that you want to give a special shout out to? Any packages or deals you're offering right now?
Yeah. So actually, I'm in the middle of a move right now into a bigger space, which I'm really excited about. So I will be able to offer even more times for these additional, the infrared sauna, all of that. I have more space, more time. And I would love for anybody that wants to come try an infrared sauna session. I'm happy to pass that along for free, because I really believe that makes a huge difference in addition to obviously the nutrition part of it. So if anybody would like to try it out, just give me a call and I will get you in.
That's amazing. Thank you for that offering.
Sure.
I might take you up on that. I'm kind
Yeah,
of
you should.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been so great to talk with you, and I'm sure that our viewers are going to get a lot out of this. I can tell you're just a deep well of knowledge, and I wish we had all the time in the world to talk. So maybe there will be an opportunity again for us to.
I hope so. Thank you, Kate.